Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us tmosso@the1916company.com. That's tmosso@the1916company.com for purchase and pricing. Today, we discuss a summary watch originally launched as you see it in 2018 from Bethune. This is the DB27 Titanhawk V2. Grade 5 titanium, 43 millimeters in diameter. The watch is thin at only 10.9 millimeters thick, and then the lug-to-lug dimension varies. It could be as broad as 50.5 or, with the variable geometry spring-loaded floating lugs compressed, 47.3 millimeters across the wrist with a 26 millimeter spacing between the lugs. For the watch on the wrist, my wrist is 16 centimeters, easy to wear, very comfortable. These are in the range of the shortest lugs that Bethune has ever provided on its watches. There have been several different spans, and so it fits well on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. You can see from over the top as well as down the barrel, which is really the true perspective. This is the most honest perspective. You can see my 16 centimeter wrist wears this well, and it's a thin watch and it will slip underneath the cuff. The strap is a summary strap made by the usual Jean Rousseau OEM supplier. You can see Jean Rousseau, which makes the original equipment straps for Bethune, here making a custom piece with this textile style and then natural rubber in orange on the bottom. A very cool design that gives it a lovely contrast with the blue of the dial. And again, summer colors right here. There is some texture molded into the top, and then you can see that we have 100% non-leather on the bottom, so your sweat will not degrade the strap. We have a little buckle here, and as you can see on Bethune, buckles often match the profile of the lugs. So we have these open area evacuated lugs and then a buckle to match with satin and the Bethune marquee on the bottom. You have the little ogival tips right here, so you can see the bullet tips on the end of the lugs. The last styling vestige of the very first Bethune product, the DB1 chronograph of 2002. And so that's a little heritage element that you'll see on many of the DB models. Spring-loaded floating lugs, these are ergonomic, and yes, they're patented. You can see that we have microlight reductive engraving all the way around the case. This is an engine-turned engraving that Bethune uses because case engraving is rare, and to use a Breguet-style rosette or rose lathe pattern would look too anachronistic and out of character for this very forward-looking watch. So when engraving is used, engine-turned all the same, it's just much more, shall we say, contemporary. This combination of tightly spaced strakes, very machine-like, and it's echoed on the dial where we have the traditional deltoid design of Bethune. Now, a lot of folks have associated with this Starfleet command badge that looks just like the Bethune logo, and if you're a Star Trek fan and you're a fan of Starfleet, well, you can just imagine it's that, although officially the co-founder and lead watchmaker of Bethune, Denis Flageolet, has described this shape as being an echo of a leaf he found while hiking in the hills around his home in L'Auberson near Bethune. We also have microlight, which you can see has been cut into 3/4 on the center dial. Bethune making case, dial, and movement in-house, so full vertical integration. So if it only wants to make 8 dials in a single style or 10 cases in a single style, it doesn't have to buy 400 or 500 from a supplier that only wants to deal in volume. By controlling all of the production factors, Bethune not only controls quality, but also makes it possible to build watches in very small runs. The dial is blue with silver printing. You can see there's a track outboard for reading seconds and minutes, and then inboard of that, radially arrayed Roman numerals with a watchmaker's 4. This is a rare Bethune watch that includes center seconds. Then you can see we have titanium hands that are media blasted and fired blue, and then we have polished titanium tips on them. On the reverse side, we have more of that fired blue titanium. So Bethune uses kiln heat to fire titanium with oxygen and achieve this blue hue. It's a distinctive trait of the brand. You can also see microlight engine turning on many components of the movement, along with lovely solarization on the winding bridge, the masts, and the barrel cap. This is manufacturer caliber Auto V2 automatic winding with a titanium rotor and a tungsten mass, 30 millimeters in diameter with a 4 Hz beat rate pivoting on 29 joules. It has a 60-hour power reserve. You could see it as a full balance bridge for better bracing against shock, and then it also has a balance of de Bethune's own design and fabrication with a wheel of blue titanium and masses in white gold, maximizing the total mass in the rim, reducing the effects of aerodynamic drag on timing, and dramatically reducing the effects of changing temperature on timing. This is one of 10 individual balance wheels patented by Denis Flageolet. His patents span 2 decades, and this is the 2016 patent balance. There's also a hairspring, which is actually cut manually. Each half is shaped manually, micro-clamped back together. They have the centered mass of an overcoil, but without the shock susceptibility and thickness of an overcoil. That hairspring curve is also patented. We have polished screws and a media-blasted base plate, all this water-resistant to 30 meters. We do have a screw-down crown with double knurling, satin, and polish up at 12 o'clock. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.